Okay, we are going to look at how to add contacts, both internal contacts and external contacts. So there's several ways to do this, and once you get used to a way, you'll probably do it that way all the time. But I'll show you a couple of different options just so you know that they exist. So we're going to pick on Elizabeth Swan today as well as George Washington. So here are two clients. They have two desktops here, and they're running Jabber for Windows, in this case 11.5.2. And let's search for a contact in our directory first. So let's say we're looking for Mickey Mouse. Now you can see I found Mickey Mouse here in my directory. Now that's significant right there. I'll tell you why in a second. And I can add this little plus here. I can add Mickey Mouse to my contact list. Now I can also chat with Mickey Mouse if I bring up a chat window, and then I can click the plus over here, and then that same dialog box will come up, and then I can add Mickey Mouse to my contact list. And I can also have the option to put them in a group, and I can create a new group as well. Okay, so let's say Mickey Mouse is an internal user, and I want to put them in my internal group. I would just add there, and you can see Mickey Mouse comes up there. I can also add people that have contacted me. For example, Elizabeth Swan maybe contacts George, and there's some instant messaging there, and then I get the pop-down toast here from Elizabeth Swan. I can click on that, and you can see I get the conversation window, and there I can click plus, and I can add Elizabeth Swan. Again, I have the option to put her in a particular group or create a new group to put her in, and that way I can identify or group my contacts in particular descriptive groups, I guess, internal work, sales, marketing, and things like that. So how else? Let's talk about contacts in my email client, for example, inside Outlook. So let's go over here, and let's say I have a contact. I have an existing contact, and let's say Donald Duck. All right, and Donald works for Disney. And let's put an IM address over here, and let's say it's donald.duck@disney.com. Now I'm going to leave phone number empty for now, and we're going to come back to that. So let's save and close. I have him in my Outlook contacts. Now, if I go over here and maybe want to add Donald Duck as a contact, I can start typing the name, and I see Donald Duck there. Now, you can see here, don't pay attention to this because these are contacts and recents. I did a dry run of this before, and that's why you get this here. But if it was the first time, you wouldn't see this. But I see my address book. Remember, when we searched for Mickey Mouse, it said directory. Now it says address book, and it's just identifying that where Jabber found Donald Duck was in your address book, in your local address book, or in your Outlook address book. And then I can go ahead and add Donald Duck right here. Okay, and let's put him, let's create a new group because he's outside of my company, so I'm going to create a new group called external. Let's call it. We'll create that. We'll add Donald Duck to that group, and then you can see here that we can now put that away here. We can now start a chat with Donald Duck if we wanted to. Okay, now what if we updated our contact? Maybe I added a number here. Add a business number. Let's do 555-6666, and we'll save that. And then when I go look up Donald Duck again, I can put that away here. I can have the ability now. You see this kind of green guy popped up because there's a number associated with his contact. So there's kind of a synchronization process going on behind the scenes. You can see it pulled that number into Jabber. So that speaks to that tight integration with your Microsoft client itself. So those are a couple of ways that you can add contacts. And remember, there's always, if you don't add them from either the internal directory or your contact list, you can add them directly to Jabber. Let's say you don't have the contact at all. Just one more way here, File, New. Here you can add a contact as well, the same as I was doing over here. But this way, you have that another option. You have the custom contact. And this is where I'm going to just create a contact. The only place that contact is going to exist is in my Jabber client. And I can give it a display name here. Let's say Anson Test. Anson and Test is the last name, and chat address. Somewhat external, so this is something that we're maybe another company we're federating with, and I forgot to mention that, I think, with Mickey Mouse, since Mickey Mouse, or Donald Duck, excuse me, was at Disney.com. My company's not Disney.com, but maybe that's a company that I'm dealing with, so I'd have to have a federation with them, and I could bring them in for my contacts, or I could create a custom contact as I'm doing here. So Anson.test at testdomain.com, and then I can put it the email address. Hopefully that's the same. And I can put a work phone as well. And then I can add it to whatever group. And I can put some other information here too. Let's create that one. And you can see Anson Test here. And of course, if that was a real domain and I was federated with that domain, I could go ahead and instant message Anson Test, and I would get presence information as well as instant messaging. This is Anson Garcia, and I'd like to thank you for watching.